when you're creating a kind of an infrastructure that attracts people to you, rather than, you know, cold calling and trying to message people out and trying to push your music out there and art out there and stuff like that. But it's like, wait, can you actually create some sort of strategy that attracts people to you, kind of thing? Yeah, and that's the
a question then. Is a
wait, so let me just quickly, I just want to carry on to this. Hold your thought. So basically, you can build something that attracts people, but you don't have to go out there and search your customers. But if you go to someone like Thailand, where they're very effective, or Brazil, at just like giving you and trying to sell stuff to you. So it's all, if you go to Brazil in North Africa, Morocco, or, you know, these places, Tunisia, they were like, they were like, come on, buy. So maybe there's some element of, you know what I mean?
I think you'll find the reason that those countries are like that, though, is that their need tends to be greater. And they see Western society as, oh, you guys have got bags full of money, man. So look after us, and that's why you get that. But the thing is, you can spot someone who's just after money straight away, anyway. Because, you know, when I first have clients go on my program and start looking through their social media, and all I see is buy this, buy now. I'm saying, is that all you're posting? They're like, well, do you know what else to say? And I'm like, well, what are your customers asking you? Well, what do you mean? What kind of questions are you getting? Oh, we'll ask about this and this and this. And I said, why aren't you talking about that then? Well, the thing is, what you got to remember is, right, and again, this is down to kind of Facebook and almost the media as well. People see likes and go, yeah, man, boy, I'm doing well. And it's like, are you really? Mm-hmm. What happens after they click like? What are they doing after that? Are they going to your website? Are they subscribing to your list? Are they downloading your ebook? Are they going and gone onto your, you know what I mean? All these factors are the things that business owners or small business owners, they don't see that. They see these likes and think, yeah, man, I've landed. I've had social media customers come on board with 3,000 likes. And then when we started running campaigns for them, the engagement is pitiful. I mean, I've turned around and says, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, well, I got someone to buy some likes for me a couple of years ago. And I'm like, okay. And don't get me wrong, you know, a bigger number is a bigger number, but if it ain't a targeted group of people, it's like you're pushing water uphill. So, you know what I mean? But likes are vanity, man. And as Sam will say, click-throughs, actions, subscriptions, there's the sanity. There's the stuff that makes you go, yeah, man.
All right, Si, did you want to go?
I can't remember. Oh, I was going to ask you, I do remember. So, like, one of the things that's often employed in marketing, especially at high levels, especially with advertisements and stuff like that, is gimmicks. And I was going to ask, one, I think I know the answer to, do gimmicks work? But secondly, are gimmicks harmful to a brand? So, you know, if you do just use a cheesy something just to get somebody, you know, through the door, can it actually harm your brand, do you think? Or do you think gimmicks actually are just a good thing? Or, I don't know.
I actually think it can. Like, I've seen a lot of marketing, and I've seen a lot of things work and a lot of things that don't work. Again, it comes down to the aim of the brand. I think if you know your customer, and if you know, okay, cool, my customer is going to like basically respond to a gimmick type advert, then yeah, run that campaign. But also, you know that in marketing, you're not going to reach everyone. So you're going to maybe really attract the people who are really into that and extremely repel the people who are not into that, if that makes sense. And obviously, if you're trying to build a certain brand, then you might get a stigma attached to you. And I feel like that's the difference between, like, I'm not sure if you guys know, like Gary Vaynerchuk. The difference between a Gary Vaynerchuk and like a, I can't even remember the other guy's name now. But there's another guy on YouTube. He's like, Here in My Garage guy.
Oh, Lopez.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Ty Lopez. Yeah. Mr. Shout
That was a gimmick.
Yeah. So their approaches are, their message is more or less the same-ish, but their approach is very different. So for me, I didn't even remember Ty Lopez's name because I don't really, you know, I don't appreciate his style of marketing to me. So Gary V, that's more kind of my kind of, you know, way of reciprocating or receiving from people. So it really just depends. If your personality is flamboyant and you're out there and you're, you know, then market like that, because you're going to attract the people who like that. But if you're more of like a calm, like, yeah, this is me, you're empathetic, you're, you know, that, then just market that, you know, be authentic to yourself and grow a brand out of that kind of thing. So, yeah.
And also align with your own values, because, you know, everyone has a why. And, you know, if you understand your own why, and, you know, I mean, one of the things I've done, I've wrote my whys down, and they're in front of me. So I know why I'm doing what I do. And then every now and again, some of my whys will slip into some of my content, because I'm telling people this is why I'm doing this. So they can, for those who align with that, will say, well, yeah, I like what this is about. And, you know, I'm quite flamboyant, but I am still guarded about what I put on social media. You know, I mean, obviously we've been on here today. I've already dropped some patois about 5 times. Would I do that in my group? Probably not, because they'll be like, oh, Nigel's talking French. You know what I mean? So you have to play that part in it. But yeah, it's your values, man. Your values will dictate who you attract, as well as if you use that language in your marketing.
Yeah, I think what made me think of it is a couple of things. Obviously, silly things like the Go Compare advert, and that the song literally, or the Crazy Frog, that literally everybody either thought destroyed Axel F, or, you know, it just got stuck in your head one way or the other. So just little things like, you know, them sort of gimmicky ads that came around about, you know, and they get stuck in your head, but obviously everyone remembers them. So is even that fact that it annoyed, you know, it's still stuck in your head.
There's only one problem at our level of doing something like that. You still got to have the exposure of that content. So if you've got like a Facebook group of 100 people, you go and spend, I don't know, 300, 400 pounds putting together this real crazy gimmicky ad, if you just target to that group, it's a waste of money. So it's not just about creating the content, the gimmicky content. It's about, okay, what channels does it go on? You know, can we maximize it? Can we, you know, so, and, you know, the 2 people you've talked about, they have advertising budgets, mate. You know, don't think they caught for a small
sexualizing a crisp, for instance, you know, on an advert, they'll be sexualizing like a crisp or something, you know, or make you buy a lawnmower or something. It's like, what? Like, what? You know, it's just,
you know, you drive a truck, man. You see that on the advertised the side of the truck. They put like a woman on there where they're selling windows, and you're like, I'm gonna get the woman with the window. Or
actually, Sam, I wanted to ask you this. Actually, have you noticed recently on Facebook, a lot of the Facebook ads for the marketing, they're using some pretty decent looking eye candy to kind of try and market.
I can't say I've seen this myself.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay. I've seen a few. But no,
it's definitely the psychology behind marketing. You might use a female to market certain things. Obviously, I can't do that, because if that is my my advert, and then people click and they see my ugly face, then my conversion rate, my bounce rate is going to be ridiculous. So.
No, I remember once having a Facebook account, and I had a picture of a woman up there, because I was obviously doing music, and I was trying to get people to not Facebook, it was MySpace actually. Back in it. Now that's age of me. Back in it, you know.
MySpace. Don't be telling us your secrets now.
Yeah. Hey, and I tell you what, I put a woman on there.
Bring up the drawbridge before he went in and logged in.
I think I got in the short amount of time, I got like 6,000 requests, and you know what? Even when I told people this is not anything to do with me, I just put this woman there because I think she's good looking. I got men writing me from all over the world telling me how you're fun, and I was like, that's how they do it, man. That's how they do it.
Man, some mans are thirsty, mate.
Yeah. What I did want to allude to quickly is Ty Lopez. You know, you say you should. Nigel said it, or Sam was saying you could target your people. Ty Lopez used a completely different strategy where he just bought all the ad space on YouTube and marketed his video to everybody. So he was going to get his people back in there. That's how he got successful. I think he must have took out a lot for a million.
No. He's trust me, man. He's already got that money sat in the bank.
You think so?
Whatever he spent, he's already got
that money.
There's a number of things. I mean, the first thing is what we call in marketing ad fatigue. Mm-hmm. So what happened with Ty Lopez's ad? He kind of got lucky, somewhat to speak, because when you spend too much money on the same ad and it's being played again and again and again, it fatigues, and your audience have seen that ad so many times, and the kind of effectiveness of that ad kind of starts to diminish. So that's why people when it comes to online ads, people like constantly creating new ads so that their ad don't fatigue and people don't see the same thing. And the second thing is, it's kind of a bad thing to look at like the bigger brands and how they're marketing, because like Nigel said, they've got big budgets, but also not all of these big companies that we see and look up to are actually making profit. You know, and that's another thing we need to think about, is some of these companies are actually millions of pounds in debt every year. And sometimes it's their strategy. Other times they just get funding, and then they get funding, and they get more funding, but they're not actually turning a profit. So when they're doing all of these extravagant ads and stuff like that, and we're looking up to them and we're like, oh, I want to grow a company like Uber, or I want to grow a company like this or like that. If you actually look at the finances of these companies, sometimes then they're not sustainable. You know, if, like, for example, coronavirus has just happened now, a lot of investors are going to be taking their money out of these companies. Can they sustain without the financial backing? For a lot of them, it's going to be no. So it's more about, can you create a profitable business? Can you create a profitable campaign? I've never borrowed a single penny in my entire life, or the lifespan of my business. I've had to learn how to make it profitable, kind of thing. So
man,
and it's true, and it's true, you know, because if you look at the death of the high street, and you look at some of the businesses that are shutting down now, the reason they're shutting down is because a lot of them expanded too fast, took too much debt on, and now they're trying to pay back the debt, but the cash ain't coming in. As soon as that happens, it's curtains, because the people you owe the money to, they want their money. So it's like, right, we're going to bankrupt you, we're going to sell off that building, get rid of all them staff. The amount of companies in the last 20 years who have got rid of staff and then the following year posted record profits. You know what I mean? So it's a game. It's all a game. It's a game. Yeah. And you know, the last thing I'd say in terms of an analogy is, when you see that guy driving down the motorway with the latest BMW, 5 Series, whatever, that guy doesn't always own that car.
Yeah.
Every month, that guy's got to work 30 hours to pay off what he's got to pay for his monthly payments, just to pay for that nice car. So, and that's what the world is built on, a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, so that's the whole idea of faking it before you make it. Do you think that has any weight in marketing at all?
It depends. If I was to start a startup today, let's say I developed a new app, and I got £100 million, you know, as an investment funding or investment pool or something like that, then I might spend through that whole 100 million and not make anything, or not make a lot. But then the next round of funding, more money coming in, and you know, so you can kind of fake it till you make it and grow a huge company. I mean, even Amazon's strategy was slightly different. But what they did is they didn't turn a profit for years. I don't even know if they're in profit now. You know, but, yeah, they didn't turn a profit for years. But it wasn't necessarily their strategy to turn a profit. Their strategy was to sell, kind of sometimes undercut their competition, even if they were losing as well, so that they can basically put a lot of their competition out of business, so that they will be the primary business. You know,
and they bought up a lot of businesses as well.
Exactly. They're trying to literally monopolize the game. So it's like, we need to kind of stop idolizing certain companies, because it's not realistic to us as self-employed people, as business people. What we actually should be looking up to is the person. Okay, they might not have done 20 million in their business this year, but they done 10K in their business this month, and they're running profitable ads. They have a profitable business, a YouTube channel or whatnot. In my opinion, that's a lot more sustainable. They've never taken any investment or stuff. So I think we need to kind of start looking at the marketing models that are actually turning a profit each month, kind of thing.
Okay. So I'm 18. I come to you and I'm like, yo, man, I've just made this new I don't know, machine. I need someone to market it, man. I need someone to market it. What you saying, man? How can you help me market this?
I'm gonna stop you right there. There's a whole heap of questions that would need to be answered before you
but that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying.
The thing is, that's like me saying, oh, look at this brand new pen. Market it for me. Well, okay. Who's the pen for? What's the price point? How much does it cost you to make it? What's your profit on there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What country are you looking to hit with it? Have you patented it? And there's a word of questions that need to be asked before you get to that stage.
But say I got to that. No, say I've already done that now. So I'm actually literally at the marketing stage. I would have to talk to Sam or you, and then you would ask me these questions again after I've done all of it. Is that what you're saying?
Send you have to go do your homework first.
So what I'm saying is, if I was 18 and I got this whole idea to market this new pen or machine, is it an easy road or a hard road? Because I think a lot of people come in thinking, it's going to be easy, man. I'm just going to go in there, I'm going to put the song there or the new pen, and everyone's going to come sell it, buy it. Easy.
Can we make it a bit easier? Because I think I get what you're saying, but I think the whole fact that, like, Nigel's right, there'd be a bag of questions that had come out of that. Why don't you just say something that already exists, right? You wanna market the fact that you got a new record label out there, studio stroke record label. That's something that's already an existing market for, and you ain't gonna ask a bag of questions for because we've got a model already, a construct. How would you go about helping him sell that there? I think that's what he's trying to say.
Well, I think Nigel, like, really kind of already smacked the nail on the head in terms of there's always going to be questions. A good marketing consultant or agency or anything, they're going to have a list of 1 million questions for you before they can really understand. Because remember, we're marketing guys, but at the same time, you are still the professional of your product. Yeah. So we're trying to pull out of you what the best way is to market the thing that you've got there, because you've identified the pain point. You know who your target customer is. You know how to reach them. We might have the technical aspect and help you to bridge the gap, but you're the expert of how to market that thing, to be honest. So we need to kind of quiz you and ask you, who is your customer? Where do they spend their time online? Okay. What things are they interested in? What kind of content will attract them? If you're planning on putting adverts on Instagram, for example, our attention span isn't that high. So if we're scrolling through Instagram and your target customer sees your ad, what is it that's going to grip them and be like, wait a minute, let me actually look and watch this? So you need to stop them in their tracks so that they can watch what you've got to say or look at what you've got to say. And then you've got to say something in that ad to make them click. So you've got to stop them and you've got to make them click. And now they're on your landing page. What landing page experience are you giving them? Is it mobile optimized? Are they zooming in? Because if they're doing all of that stuff and they've clicked from Instagram, they've already bounced off.
They've gone, mate. Friction.
It's like it's a beat, you know. It's like
they've gone back to they've gone back to that profile that you made of the women, you know. So,
oh no, this guy's got a beard, man. This woman ain't got no beard. What's going on here?
So you have to you have to really think about the whole process and reverse engineer what it is your target customer, the process they're going to go through to find your product. And I've kind of boiled it down into like a very simple. Nigel's read it as well, and it's so simple and it's so easy. And I get criticized for it all the time. But the reason why I've broken it down so simply is because you can't really go anywhere if you don't understand the formula to generating sales online. And that simply is, you need traffic, which is people coming to your website or your offer. Yeah. You need to convert that traffic into either leads or sales. And that's how you generate consistent sales online. Traffic plus conversions equals sales. It's a simple PDF that I've written. And that basically breaks down what traffic is, how to get the right kind of visitors to your website, how to convert them so that they become customers. And if you can do that consistently at a profit, then you've got a business on your hand.
You want to be a winner. Because, you know, Sam's right. I mean, nothing's changed. It's what marketers have been doing online for years. I think what I find in my experience is that, and I had an example today, people always try and complicate things.
Yeah.
People think, why? It's either complicate or they want it to be perfect before they launch it.
Yeah.
And, you know, no action is always going to be worse. The worst thing is always going to be worse than taking action. Or people complicate things. They want to put X amount of funnels in place and have all this and that and flashing lights. And I'm saying, hold on a minute. Why don't you just focus on getting a customer first or getting a subscriber first? I mean, you can tweak until you get to a point that you're happy. It's converting nicely, and then you throw your money at your Facebook ads, all those other things. But people always try and complicate things, and it's not their fault. I think it's because they see the success online and they think, "Why? This thing looks easy, man." And it is easy if you're following the methodology like what Sam's produced. Then it's straightforward because all you're doing is you're putting the elements in place.
Yeah.
But as I say, man, people go off on a tangent, man, and whoa, I've had to reel some people in my time, just reel them right in, and they've still ignored me, and then they've come back to me a month later to go, oh, you know that thing I wanted. He's like, okay, then let's sit down and talk. I'll send you my invoice later.
Do you know where I see the biggest problem, to be honest? And you guys will definitely recognise this. I'm pretty sure of it in what you're doing. I definitely have, and I'm sure me and Alstallio spoke about it in the past anyway. It's the fact that when you can literally lead a man to lead a thing to a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I think this is such a common thing where you actually give them the gems that they're looking for. You give them that practical advice, then they go away, come back to you having done nothing, told you they've done it, and then you say, and then ask for volume 2. You give them volume 2, they go away, don't do it, come back, say it don't work. I mean, be honest, you've seen that, haven't you? Please tell me you've seen that, because I've seen that so much in my industry, where a lot of, say, like with the artists that I've worked with, you give them this very, very simple formula. Like, we're talking about, people releasing music and that, having a staggered approach to releasing something and that, making sure that you dot the I's and cross the T's. When you do release something, it's good audio quality, it's good video, it's been recorded properly. If there's any video overlay, dubbing and that, it's all in sync. Everything is just polished. But some people, I mean, this guy sent me a track. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but he sent me this track. And for the first minute and a half, I was really believing that this was one of the best artists undiscovered that I hadn't heard of before. By the time I got to the end of the track, it was one of the worst. Because what happened somewhere in the process is he turned off this little bit of vocal record he was using that was actually making his voice sound ever so pretty. The real side of it. But then it went into, honestly, like a different kind of raw, rougher recording. And then he just didn't finish the song properly. And it just tailed off so terribly, because I reckon he had one really inspirational session. And then after that, it fell apart, and he didn't try and fix it. He just said, that'll do. I hate that approach to something. That'll do. Just leave that alone. That'll do. That's fine.
The thing is, he got something. No, the thing is, though, it's like what Nigel said. He got something out. He took action. Even if he got to you, didn't he? He could have just sat down and been like, nah, I can't get it right.
He sent it to me direct, though, for a review, though. That's a bit different.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what you got to always remember, though, with life, everything. You're going to have, you have 1,000 people, a third of them are going to love you, a third are going to hate you, and a third are going to be indifferent. Yeah. So if that guy who sent you that, obviously you've put your opinion on it, he might send that to another 100 people. Out of those 100, 20 might say, yeah, man, this guy's wicked, man. Boy, what else are you bringing out next? He said,
they didn't know. They didn't.
How many people has he sent it to?
He sent it to about 10 people and that, and about 5 of them came back and said exactly the same thing. The other people, I don't think, actually gave him a reply. But he sent it to people, who are really honest, and people who are, he knows a lot of the bigger artists around Birmingham, let's put it that way, and he sent it to a lot of those, and a lot of them give him the same critique.
I wouldn't let anyone, I wouldn't let any, especially my peers in music, I would never let none of them listen to my music.
No, but you don't understand. If you went and put something out on ultra high definition 4K, I don't know what the best thing is these days,
5K,
and
8K.
And then recorded back with an old style camcorder or something, but just try to film the same stuff that you're recording now with this difference in sound quality, audio, everything, then obviously there's going to be a massive difference in that quality. That's what happened.
I think it was on the budget though.
I don't know what happened. I mean, like he just said, like he spent a lot of time at first.
Went to sleep. He went to sleep.
I mean, he had that part of the track, one part of the track for a long time or whatever, like the recording, and he didn't finish it off the way he should have. I just told him, I gave him a few pointers, and I think he went back and done it again. I'm not sure, but
we knocked his confidence.
Yeah. So Sam, where are your customers based? Where are your followers based?
That's a tricky one. I mean, I've got followers literally all over the world, predominantly in the US. When I check my analytics, they are coming from everywhere. US, Canada, Israel, UK, Italy, everywhere, and yeah, I'm starting to do more UK based stuff. So that's how I met Nigel. I was in the same Facebook group. So I'm starting to do more like localized, local marketing and UK based stuff. But marketing is huge in America.
Yeah.
So they are kind of like very ahead of us in a lot of things as well. So it's kind of understandable that my biggest audience is there.
Do you ever take yourself over there or anything to attend seminars or anything like that?
Yeah, I think America's just where it's at. It's where it's at. And I'm trying to kind of build a a network here as well. So that's why, like, you know, even meeting Nigel and, you know, some other guys here, it's nice. And I want us to do our thing here. But yeah, America is kind of where it's at. So I went to Vegas quite early on in my kind of marketing career, sat down with a lot of the marketers that I really look up to and aspire to be like. But at the same time, you do get marketers who are brilliant, but they're sketchy, if that makes sense. And I love that.